I opened a wedding gift, just a blender, but under the manual, a love note. I miss your lips. He'll never satisfy you like I do. M. She didn't deny it. She didn't say a word. That's when I knew. I was marrying a stranger. It started with a blender. Yeah, the kind you put on a wedding registry. It was a top-of-the-line model, and when I opened the box, I thought it was a thoughtful gift from one of our guests. But tucked beneath the manual was a handwritten note. Not addressed to me, but to my fiancée, Rachel. I miss your lips. Your fiancé will never make you feel the way I did. Can't wait for our next secret weekend. M double quote. My stomach dropped. I read it 3 times, hoping it was some sick joke. Maybe a prank from her college friends? But Rachel froze when I showed it to her. No laughter, no confusion. Just silence. That's when I knew. Let me rewind a bit. Rachel and I had been together for 4 years. We met through friends at a Halloween party. She came dressed as a witch. I was a pirate. Classic meet-cute stuff. We clicked instantly. Her energy lit up the room. Everyone loved her, especially me. We moved in together after a year. I was the one who suggested it, but she didn't hesitate. We found a cozy 2-bedroom apartment in San Diego, with a little balcony that overlooked the ocean. She filled it with plants. We started routines. Sunday pancakes, movie marathons, Taco Tuesdays. I thought we were solid. By year 3, I proposed during a trip to Big Sur. The sun was setting over the cliffs, and she said yes with tears in her eyes. We called our parents, popped champagne. Everything felt perfect. But in hindsight, maybe it was too perfect. The last 6 months before the wedding had been tense. Rachel had become distant. She stayed late at work more often. She seemed tired, distracted. I chalked it up to wedding planning stress and her new position at the company. She had just been promoted to lead project coordinator. Still, she barely touched her dinner some nights. She'd stare at her phone, say she was catching up on emails, but I noticed her lock the screen quickly when I glanced over. One Friday night, she said she had a team retreat in Lake Tahoe. That's normal for her company, so I didn't question it. She even brought back souvenirs. But something about how rehearsed her stories were stuck with me. That blender arrived a week later. We were still unpacking other gifts when I opened it. I didn't think twice until I saw the note. It wasn't just what it said. It was the handwriting. It was personal. Real. This wasn't a fake prank note. This was someone who knew her. Someone who missed her. I confronted her right then and there. I held the note up and asked, "What the hell is this, Rachel?" She looked at it, blinked once, and sat down slowly. No denial. No outrage. Just this haunted silence. That's when it hit me like a freight train. She wasn't going to lie. Because she couldn't. I asked who M was. She didn't answer, just stared at the floor. My heart was racing. My hands were shaking. I stood there waiting. But she stayed silent. That silence was louder than a confession. That night, she went to stay with her sister. Said she needed space to think. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. I just sat at our dining table, the note in front of me, reading it over and over like it would change. The next morning, I woke up on the couch with a crick in my neck and the note still clutched in my hand. The apartment felt foreign. The place that used to be home now felt like a museum of lies. Rachel hadn't texted, hadn't called. That alone said a lot. I needed answers. I started with her laptop. She never changed her password. Same one since college, the name of her childhood dog. I know, not exactly secure, but in that moment, I was grateful. I didn't even know what I was looking for. But I clicked through her folders, email tabs, photos. And then I found it. A folder inside a folder titled Invoices. Buried within it was another called Travel. Inside that, dozens of PDFs, hotel bookings, flight confirmations, Ubers, all with the name Rachel Myers, and someone listed as a second guest, M. Williams. I opened one after another. Chicago, Denver, New Orleans, weekend dates, long weekends, the same weekends she claimed to be on work trips. Each receipt was like a punch to the gut. There were even pictures, a couple of selfies from a hotel room. She wasn't even trying to hide them well. One in particular stuck with me, her curled up in bed, grinning, his arm barely in frame, wrapped around her. I scrolled through emails, found dozens from a burner Gmail, some username like Wanderlust1983. Can't wait to feel you again. Counting hours until our hideaway. I felt sick. I took screenshots, backed everything up to a flash drive. I wasn't thinking revenge, I just needed to not feel crazy. Then I checked her calendar. She had a shared calendar for work, and a personal one she didn't realize synced to her laptop. That's where I saw it. Weekend notes labeled M, little hearts next to them. M flight, M check-in, even reminders like pack lingerie. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. That evening, she came back. Said she wanted to talk. Her eyes were red. She looked worn out, like she hadn't slept either. I sat her down. Said nothing at first, just handed her the flash drive. She plugged it in. Clicked through a few files. Her face went pale. Then she finally spoke. It started at that Seattle conference. You remember? The one I said was boring? I nodded. We met at a networking mixer. He made me feel seen. I didn't plan for anything to happen. We had a few drinks, and then I stopped her there. I don't want the details. Just tell me. How long? She hesitated. 8 months. 8 months. Almost the entire time we'd been engaged. I asked if she loved him. She said no. But she didn't look sure. I was scared, she said. Scared of settling. Scared of being boring. He was exciting. I asked why she said yes to my proposal. Because I love you, she said, and I almost laughed. Almost. She begged me not to tell anyone. Said it would destroy her family, her career. But what about me? What about everything she destroyed for me? The next few days were chaos. I stayed with Chris, my brother, while Rachel remained in the apartment. I told her I needed time, but really, I needed distance. I was scared if I stayed, I'd either break down or blow up. Chris tried to be neutral. He offered me food, distracted me with dumb shows, even invited friends over to play video games like we were teenagers again. But every time my phone buzzed, my heart jumped. Rachel sent messages, some long, pouring her soul out. Some short, just, I'm sorry, or please talk to me. I didn't reply. 3 days after I left, my mom called. She'd spoken to Rachel's mom, apparently. Word was already spreading. She made a mistake, my mom said cautiously. But people can change. That hurt more than I expected. My own mother trying to get me to forgive someone who shattered me. I told her I didn't want to talk about it, and hung up. Then the texts from friends started. Jake, my best man, was furious. You want me to talk to her? I'll call her out right now. Amanda, one of Rachel's bridesmaids, sent me a message. I don't know what to say. I'm shocked. She always talked about you like you were her everything. Some friends took sides. Others stayed quiet. A few tried to stay neutral, but you could hear the discomfort in their voices. Then Rachel's sister called me. That one was unexpected. Hey, I know this is weird, but I just want you to know. I had no idea. If I'd known, I would have told you. I'm so sorry. She sounded genuine. Broken too. Said their parents were crushed. Her dad hadn't spoken to Rachel since he found out. I didn't feel satisfaction. Just more weight. A week later, I got an email from Matt. Yeah, the Matt. The subject line. I owe you the truth. He said he didn't know she was engaged, that she told him she was in a complicated relationship and things were ending. He said he ended things the moment he found out about me. I didn't reply. Didn't even know if he was telling the truth. But it made me realize maybe Rachel had been lying to everyone. To me. To him. To herself. That weekend I canceled everything. The venue. The caterer. The DJ. Lost a few deposits. But I didn't care. What killed me was calling our officiant, a family friend who had been prepping the ceremony with us for months. I could hear the heartbreak in his voice. The worst part? The wedding date was still circled on the calendar. Bright red. What would have been the best day of my life was now a ghost. A scar. The day our wedding was supposed to happen, I took a drive to the mountains. I needed to be anywhere but the city. I brought no phone, no distractions, just me and silence. I stood at a cliffside overlook, looking at the sky where we were supposed to say our vows under the sun. I remember wondering how you can love someone so much and still walk away from them. But I realized, love isn't always enough. The weeks that followed were slow, empty. But then slowly, something shifted. I started going on walks again. I picked up my old camera and started taking photos around the city, something I hadn't done since college. I signed up for therapy. The first session was hard. I talked, cried, sat in silence. But it helped. Week by week, it helped. Rachel kept trying. Emails, a handwritten letter, even tried showing up at my brother's once. But I never opened the door. One day I received a package. No sender. Inside, the necklace I gave her on our second anniversary. And a note. You don't have to forgive me. I just hope someday you heal. I put the necklace in a drawer. Haven't touched it since. Closure didn't come in one moment. It came slowly, through ordinary things. Cooking dinner without crying. Watching a show without rewinding painful memories. Being able to say her name without my chest tightening. 3 months later, I met someone at a bookstore. Her name was Ava. She asked if I'd read the book in her hands. I had. We started talking. Then coffee. Then dinners. I told her about Rachel, eventually. About the wedding. About the blender. She didn't flinch. Just listened. And for the first time, I didn't feel broken. Just human. Now it's been almost a year. I'm not saying everything's perfect, but I'm standing again, breathing again, living. And I owe that strangely to a terrible, unexpected note in a blender box. Life's messy, but it goes on. What would you have done in my place?
Subscribe.